Thank you for landing on the Empowering Entrepreneurs podcast. I'm Glenn Harper.
Julie Smith.
What's going on, Julie?
Well, I think we've had a little too much caffeine today.
Yes, I think that's probably true. I see the wheels turning up there. What do you got going on today?
Well, so we just did a podcast on saying no, and I'm wondering if I should keep that theme with this episode.
Whatever you think, I'll roll with it.
So I think it's important, we get on here and we talk a lot about, we interview a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneur stories. We talk a lot about what we've learned throughout our career, tips and tricks, or things we see, repeatedly. So maybe, if you're listening, you don't have to go through that. But I think, we never talk about what do we do?
Who? We like you with a mouse in your pocket, or we like me and you?
Well, I just think like, what do we do? Like we go to work the businesses, how life has evolved, um, you know, our vision and mission and our dreams 10 years ago versus where we are today. And how did we get here? Right. I'm going to say it's because I say yes all the time and he says no, but that's neither here nor there. But I think just like a peek behind the curtain of like, we're just real people grinding, just like every entrepreneur that's listening. We lose sleep. We have hard conversations. Maybe we don't talk for a few days because we really disagree with each other, or we really want to go a direction and one doesn't agree. And it's, having to go through all of that and then, go home and it's like, okay, well, we're not talking about work, but our not minds never shut off. And so it's really hard because I'm like, oh, did you call that person back? Because I told him that you were going to call him back. And it's 9 o'clock at night. And then I say that, and then he can't sleep because guess what? He didn't
Brains
call
turn
that
back
person
on.
back. And now he's
Brains
starting
turn
to
back.
think like, well, where was that? And how did I get that email? And again, I think it's just, let's go back 10, 11 years ago. You had a different business partner. Um, your company was being run completely different. And, I think I was corporate America Julie, right? Wanted, climbing the ladder, had an MBA. I had the dreams of being the CEO of, thousands of people and
Megacorp.
what that looked like, right? And just wanted to climb that ladder as fast as I could. And then making this hard pivot to small company USA
Right here.
and going through the peaks and the valleys of corporate America Julie versus small business Julie versus Glenn, who
was,
has
really
no
hard.
corporate experience.
In the cutthroat world, no. Yes.
But now we're in it. No, I'm just kidding.
kidding.
And I think how just the evolution of then deciding to build a new company and how we're going to build this and what it looked like in a vision and mission and having these core values of how we make decisions daily, surrounding ourselves with people. We thought there are times, I mean, we thought we had really great people and really bought into our mission and our vision and where we were going, and they learn what we have to offer and they go start their own businesses. And I look at it as one of the biggest compliments because clearly we have a lot of advice and knowledge about how to run a business. But really we've been through the peaks and the valleys so much.
Well, I think the the main thing is that the only thing constant in when you're in business is change. And it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. And again, if you're trying to learn way back in the day, I was definitely a solopreneur. I was definitely just grinding out the work and just focused on that and just doing work, doing work, doing work. Wasn't really thinking about growing an organization and running it with like a procedure, a process, hierarchy, flow chart of who's in charge of what, and those type of things. And so when he came along, and I was like, oh, I was already starting to see that writing on the wall. Then it was like, okay, now I got to make that happen. So it's been just a great thing for me personally. I still probably work harder than I've ever worked in my life. It's a different kind of work, right? It's a different type of thing. You're thinking of different things than just doing a tax return or preparing a financial statement. You're thinking strategy for the clients. You're thinking new stuff coming down from the government, new things that are happening and how you can implement those with things, working with your teammates to make sure that they have all the tools they need to be able to be part of that. And they believe in what they're trying to do. And so, yeah, people come, people go, clients come and clients go. You just keep trying to do the right thing for everybody and stay true to what you believe and what you want to try to do and what that those standards are. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win, but you keep trying. And that's what I can tell you.
Right, and I think that's like we get up every day and we have no idea what's gonna happen.
I have a calendar of what's supposed to happen. How about you? Is that what
Yeah, and
happens? No.
it's
No.
oftentimes filled a little too much to my liking, but I think the other thing, like, let's just talk about this how this podcast started.
Yeah.
This podcast and this happens a lot, and Glenn is always like, "Oh," I walk in his office, I'm like, "I have this great idea," right? I have this great idea. Let's do a podcast. We're in COVID, right? Let's do a podcast around entrepreneurs. Let's create a community around them. At that point in time, COVID was so lonely.
It was a horrible time to be around.
And so we started out with this like small vision of creating a community for our clients and those entrepreneurs and what we're going through and those life struggles and we can all relate, right? And pretty soon it became an international podcast. We're interviewing people that are in was he in China that one
Yep.
time
Shanghai,
um and so just how
Germany.
quickly things can grow and scale and pivot and again it just all goes back to this great idea that usually starts small and
Mhm.
usually materializes and spirals as we start talking through things. But, I think the other part is I think both of us just want to make an impact.
Correct.
And it's again, we always talk about we just want to solve problems, but it's so much bigger than that. And it's about the impact we make. And, I Glenn and I go and we consult with different CPA firms and, we get to do that, meet so many different people and so many different people are doing things so differently, but yet it's all the same.
It's all the same. It's the wanting to, we want to help. It's a nature. You got sucked into this as accountants generally want to help. And
I'm
even
the
though
furthest thing
you
from
don't
an
want to be an
accountant.
accountant, but you do love to help. And the helping uh, for clients, colleagues, changing the industry, changing the entrepreneurial landscape because it is a lonely place. It's gotten a little more friendly because there's more outlets for people to talk to.
Well, I think the generations are changing too, right?
Correct. And I think what ends up happening is if we know something that's going to help that customer, that colleague, that person out, I don't wanna just keep it and not share that, and you don't either, and we wanna stand from the mountaintop and say, "Look, you should try this. This is the shortcut. This will make it work." And so by doing this is a great medium for us to do that. That's what we were doing in all the different businesses we're in. It's really about helping your customers, your clients be the best they can be so they can achieve their goals, and that's very satisfying for me, and I know you enjoy that
But
as
I
well.
think if we look at holistically all of these companies that we're involved in, partnered with, the main thing sticking that all together is impact.
You're correct.
And I think, big or small, whatever that is, I think that's important. That's been an important part of our journey.
You're right because it's an, there's 2 parts to when you help a client or a colleague or a friend or family, whatever. It's there's an emotional, mental impact that can help somebody break free and achieve something that they didn't know they could achieve. And then there's always the financial impact that generally can come along. It's not mandatory. More the emotional and mental part is the fun part, right? To have somebody achieve
Mhm.
something great. But the financial, it's all relative. If somebody's making $1 million a year and you can save them 100,000 in tax, that's a lot of money. If they, by utilizing the tax code, if somebody's making 50 grand a year and you can save them $5,000 in tax, that's impactful. It's all
But it's
relative.
also impactful of like if one, we always say if we have one listener that hears one
One
thing
thing.
and they change one thing about their journey, we've made an impact. If we go into a CPA firm and whatever their goals are, they want to 2x the revenue, 3x the revenue, they want to sell, whatever it is they're looking to do, and we can go in and we can expedite what they're doing. I think that's also the impact. And then, we're involved in a software holdings company where that's just about the impact, right? It's about making the industry better. And I
Mhm.
think that full circles it is we just have this belief that there's enough room at whatever table there is for everybody and everybody should succeed, which I think is, you know, not everybody has that mindset or
No.
thought, but if you can surround yourself with those people, they're going to build you up and allow you to achieve your dreams. We've been lucky enough to meet a few of those people along our journey that have share the same beliefs and allow us to be able to do what we do and how we do it, or introduce us to new opportunities. And I think that's really important too as you're an entrepreneur, is surrounding yourself with the right people.
Right, and remember, we talk about this a lot, and we hear the stories all the time. What I am doing currently today is not what I was doing a year ago, not what I was doing 34 years ago. It's
Mhm.
all evolved, and your clients expect you to be bringing new things to the table. You can't just have one thing, the same thing every meal. You got to bring some new things to the table,
But
and
I
that's what we've been lucky enough to do. We've found the people and the ideas that we can go, conquer those and bring those back and put them into our ecosystem.
but I think it's even bigger than that, right? And it's like, as an entrepreneur, whatever I'm doing today doesn't mean that's what I have to be doing tomorrow. It's okay if you change. It's okay if you ignite a different passion and you wanna go down a different path than you are on today. I think all of those things are okay. It's just about the evolution of yourself.
And again, that's that mental part of, you'd be surprised if you can sit down and talk to somebody and not just talk about the debits and the credits and the tax. You can get into the root thing. What are you really trying to do? Some people don't know, and when they think about it and they write it down, it's like, oh my gosh, there it's been there. And other people, they think it, they just never wrote it down. And when you ask them and they say it, then you just are like, well, do you know if you do A, B, C, and D, you got it? And they're like, what? You're like, yeah, you just got to do this. And then they do it. And man, that's the best high five ever. You sleep well at night when you bring that kind of solution to a client.
Yeah, so I guess that's, a little peek behind the curtain, our journey. It's ever evolving, probably not the same week to week for us.
No.
You never know what you're gonna get, never know what's gonna fall on our calendar. We never know who's gonna make the introduction, or we're gonna make an introduction to change someone's life or make an impact, as we like to call it. Um, but yeah, I think that's really what gets us up every morning.
So to that point at the very beginning, there's a lot of no's or not yet, but there's a lot of yeses, and a lot of yeses to meetings, a lot of yeses to introductions, a lot of things that say yes to, because you just never know when one of those ones are going to be, oh my gosh, that's the one.
Which is why I have a hard time saying no, but
You
that's
know,
a whole different
it's a,
podcast.
it's a different thing. Well, hopefully that was enjoyable for all of you. I'm Glenn Harper.
Julie Smith.